G'day everyone, welcome to the 2K Fantasy Preview Show. The 2K Fantasy is of course a collab between the Australian Poker Open and the Australian Poker Schedule, and it's happening at this year's APO, which starts next week. I've been joined by the one and only Will Davies from the Australian Poker Open, the Poker Palace, and also the APO ambassador, Bert Perry. How are you guys?
Yeah, thank you for having us. Good. Very good.
Yeah, I'm super excited for this one. It's gonna be amazing.
Yeah, the 2K Fantasy. A lot of people are getting pretty hyped for it. It was a lot of fun in the APO meetings last year, and hence APO wanted to get on board with us here, and we're looking forward to it. So I just wanted to sort of start off by going through just the APO really briefly. So starting next week, obviously, we've got the guaranteed $1.5 million main event. That's a $3,300 buy-in. $1 million guaranteed Platinum Player Championships, $1,500 buy-in, and a $350 buy-in. Can you believe they're giving away $500,000 guarantee? And I think I saw $100K for first there, Will.
When you're reading those numbers out, I suddenly get a bit of a feeling in my stomach going, geez, those are quite big guarantees. But yeah, we don't do things by half at the Poker Palace APO. So last year in the inaugural APO, it was a big success. So we thought this year we'll go bigger and better. The Diamond Cup is the largest guaranteed per player or based on players ever in Australia. So we're excited and a bit nervous for that one, but that one should be incredible. Obviously, the main event was a huge success last year. We've been running satellites for the PPC and the main event the last 8 weeks, and the satellites have gone really well. So, yeah, we're excited for it. Lots of people booked for the hotels and the accommodation deals. So, I think it's going to be a really busy one. So we're pumped.
You guys in the management team are absolutely wild, pumping up the guarantees. Yeah. I'd be sweating a little bit. I think, if there's any overlay hunters out there, they should at least come and have a look.
Yeah, you just grimace. I just smile and grimace through the pain. I'm like, oh dear, here goes, yeah.
Yeah, APL's obviously up the road, and they've got a 2.5K today, and there's quite a lot of talk about the APO too. Everyone's buzzing about it. So obviously those three key events with the huge guarantees, it's about every poker pro and just about every player in the country is going to be wanting to have a crack at that. Then, of course, you've got three massive high roller events, starting with the 5K, the Titan. You're estimating $500K guarantee there. You've got the Trojan. That's the next step up. That's a $10K entry. And then, obviously, the Establishment, which I think was won by Sean Ragazzoni last year.
Yeah, it was. I think he won. Haas came second, I believe, after winning the main. But yeah, it was a field of fields last year in terms of names and names. It was guaranteed last year. This year we've gone for the bigger guarantees on the three headline events. But yeah, we actually have a lot of people interested in the 20K. So it should. I don't think it'll be as tough as last year actually. So that's probably a lot
of the big names are coming for these. Bert's obviously coming down. Daniel Nielsen's in town. Raggers will be there again. I've even heard Travis Hendricks coming back as well. So there's going to be some huge names. They're all going to chase these super high rollers and get that title. You got your eye on a few of these, I get, Bert?
Yeah, I played all three of these last year, and they were great events. It's always a pleasure to play there. There was a lot of camaraderie at the table, especially in I think the 10K and the 20K. It was kind of a bit of a home game feel, which is pretty cool when you're playing that sort of stake.
I suppose you talk about Lamborghinis and Ferraris and yachts and stuff when you're playing for 20K.
The other guys do. I'm just there to witness greatness.
Often our highest buy-ins are actually our most relaxed, like Haas, Ragazzini. I don't think E3 is coming this year, actually, just to correct you, but Yita generally are very relaxed, very talkative, and they're actually as Bert said, they're almost like a home game, just such a relaxed vibe. Everyone knows each other. Just, playing for loads of money and just having a good time. Like the high buy-ins are so easy to run for us. They kind of run themselves. There's hardly any other dramas. It's just like that home game feel. And
you guys are running some satellites for the 5 and the 10 as well, right? And I think there's a couple for the
20, yeah. So we have a big satellite this Sunday. We have 5 seats guaranteed to the 10K, which is essentially a 50K guarantee. Then we're going to
That's wild. Yeah, that'll be great.
Yeah, so this Sunday, which will be at 7 p.m. And then next week, the night before the Titan, we're running a satellite. Last year, the Titan got a bit lost inside the PPC because lots of players came to play the 5K, and the prize pool for the 1,500 was so huge that they were like, well, how can I not play the 1,500? This year is a little bit better schedule for that, and we've kind of put more focus on it. And then the Establishment is essentially the closing event the following Sunday or Saturday, following Saturday and Sunday. So, yeah, the 10K last year was a really good turnout. We had 5 satellite qualifiers that qualified for literally $150 each, and then 3 of them made the final table. So it was one of which being Marcel, who always makes the final table. But yeah, it was a pretty incredible like satellite rags to riches for us in that one.
Yeah, and I was going to say you were streaming a few of these events too, right? So obviously the main, and I guess some of the high rollers.
So yeah, we're streaming. We're streaming with Matty from Saturday onwards, so day 2 of the Diamond Cup onwards. I will be doing commentary with a few celebrity guests lined up, so I'm looking forward to it. And we'll be streaming. Yeah, we'll be streaming the Diamond Cup day 2 NFT, the PPC, the 5K heads up. Yeah, should be some really good some good coverage.
Yep. Speaking of the heads up, I've just brought those up on the screen as well. It looks like you've got the $1,500 entry and also a 5K heads up as well. So that's the first time you've done that. That'll pick up interest as well, I imagine.
Yeah, we wanted to do something, add some events this year. We have a busier schedule, and the heads up is kind of used to be quite popular. Was the NBC Heads Up Championship in America, so we thought we'd go for it. The 1,500's almost sold out actually at 64, so that's going pretty well. The heads up, the 5K's got about 25-30 at the moment, so hopefully we can cap them both at 64 and set it out. I've done it with a slightly adjusted structure to like the old school heads ups, where you start with 50K, but you can start with either 50, 100, 150. It's essentially like 3 tokens, if you like. So it just gives everyone a fairer chance, if you like, because if you don't feel like you're as good as your opponent deeper, you can just sit with 50 and try and spin it. Although it's not like shallow, it's still shallower than 150. So it kind of gives you that chance to play to your own strengths. So yeah, I'm excited for it.
Yeah, no, that should be really interesting. Very prestigious heads up championships. So I'll be interested to see how many you get. I'm sure the numbers will be quite good. And then obviously, it's not all about high rollers. There is some great events for the micro stakes, or they're not micro, the medium stakes. 350 Diamond Cup. I've obviously mentioned that 500K guarantee. They've got everything from 6 max bounty hunters, deuce to 7 single draw, bomb pot rotation, nightly hyper turbos, deep freeze heroes. Yeah, look at all those events. Like you've got 30 fully dealt events all up. So, if you don't have 2K or 3K or 5K to come out and show, there's something for everyone.
That ladies event, by the way, is going to have a special prize for first. I don't think I'm allowed to spill the beans yet, but it's a pretty insane, alongside a trophy, it's a pretty insane first prize gift, shall I say.
It's not Lauren herself, is it? Like,
no,
it's for Lauren's lady.
Please, take her. No, it's not. It's, it's something special. So, yeah, I mean, just keep your eyes the next 2 days. I think we're going to release that. But, yeah, she's super excited for the ladies event. Yeah,
a couple of events I think off the top of my head I haven't got there with the seniors. You'll obviously have that. I think Shireen Vijayaram won that last year, didn't he? And he's only 40, so...
Yeah, I think we've moved it to 50 plus after some discussions behind the scenes with various unhappy customer base last year. So we decided that seniors had to be 50.
Yeah. Well, obviously what we're here for is to talk about the 2K Fantasy, which is on next week, is in collaboration with the Australian Poker Open. So basically everyone can put in a team. You put your team in, you turn it up to a draft. If anyone's ever seen the World Series of Poker, Daniel Negreanu runs a 25K fantasy. This runs almost exactly the same. There's an auction that's on Wednesday, 16th of April, 1 p.m. It's $2,200 to enter. You have a salary cap of $125. You've got to pick out 5 players at the auction. So average $25, but some players, as we know, they'll go quite high. Some might be quite cheap. And it is capped at 20 teams. We have got 10 fully locked and loaded. So that's exciting. I'm looking forward to seeing each and every one of those players. Bert, you're looking forward to it?
I'm really looking forward to it. This was I participated in the last APS fantasy, which was an APO Million last year, and it was my first time doing a fantasy draft like that, and I had an absolute ball. And it was kind of like a really great way to build hype right before the series, so right before the first day. I think this will do kind of the same thing for the APO. They bumped up the price, which is fine, because I think if you get like 4 or 5 mates together and just chip in a few $100, or even 6 or 7. Depending on your appetite for risk. And I will say it's a lot of fun working with a team. So I had Didier and Dylan Wayne as my partners last year. And I had an earpiece in, and that was the only one at the draft. And they were talking smack in my ear about where I should bid and stuff. It was a lot of fun.
And Will, you would have seen the 25K over in Vegas as well. And you would have seen the APL Million one last year. So you obviously wanted to be part of it. You're hyped up as well.
What Bert said's kind of like spot on. It just builds a hype, builds a camaraderie. It just makes the whole vibe of the tournament, like even if you're having a losing series, which can sometimes be a bit depressing, the whole like team ethic and the sweat of the draft can keep you motivated and keep you above water, so to speak. And it's just, I love the one in Vegas. I do the one in Vegas every year, like the 500 one they do online, like after they've done the 25K one. I always do it with Ray, and then we always come near the bottom. But it's a lot of fun. We really enjoy them.
Yeah, we had a group chat last year, and it was like a strategy support. If someone had a deep run, they'd post about it, and we'd all get in there. So we were supporting our team as much as we could because we had vested interest in them, which was cool because I had some players in my team that I don't really communicate with outside of on the felt, like when we're competing. But it was cool to root for other people that I haven't really had those relationships with. It was fun.
Yeah, one of the things I love about it too is, the hype that people get when they're picked in a team. I'm not sure who it was last year, but someone picked in the 25K draft from Australia, and they were so hyped that just one of their heroes or one of the big names picked them in their team. And so there's a bit of that as well. I can imagine some of the younger guys just getting selected, obviously gives them a big buzz and some confidence. So you want to obviously do better as well you're not only representing yourself, but you're in a fantasy team. So yeah, that's all pretty exciting. I just wanted to go through a couple of frequently asked questions. Who sets the players' prices? So they're set by the auction. So we have a draw at the start. Which team goes first? They just nominate whoever they want. They can start the bidding at $1. They can start at $10. And then it's just whatever the market pays, that's the price that a player goes for. How many players in each team? It's 5. You've got $125 per team. And can you bid on yourself? 100% you can. Bert, I don't know if you're going to pick yourself, but you obviously know your schedule and you're playing everything. So you might nominate yourself or try and hope no one else got you and get you cheap at the end. It's sort of interesting strategy.
Yeah, there's a bit of gamesmanship. It's kind of tough because if somebody else picks me, I don't really want to sandbag my series and not play, so I kind of have to play hard regardless. But getting myself could be attractive as well. Something I didn't do in the last one because I didn't want to be running too many of the side events. But I'm a bit tight-lipped about it because we've got Didier and I got a strategic meeting, but yeah.
And the other frequently asked question is, how do players score points? So what we're doing this year is it's completely based on the prize pool and the proportion of the prize money the player wins. Just very simply, you get the total prize pool. So last year, the main event prize pool was 1.6 million or thereabouts. We take the square root of that, which is 1272. First place gets 1272 points. Second, you divide the place by their place number, which is 2. So they get 636. And if you went all the way down to 127th place, they'd get 10 points, So the bigger fields, the bigger prize pools, the more points you're up for grabs. And with that, you're only awarded points if you're in the money. There's no participation points or anything like that. You've got a cash to get in the points for your team. And if there is an ICM deal, then we just ICM the points as well. That way, the prize that someone takes away is relevant to the points they also take away for their team. And there are no points awarded in a couple of the restricted events, which is Lawrence Ladies and the Seniors event. Also, the teams event, we divide by 2 as well. It's all fairly straightforward. It might look complicated, but it's very simple. Square root of the prize pool, divided by the place you finish. That's for all events across the series. Now, I love my stats. Went through a few of the stats from the APO 2024. I just had a look at the people that won one trophy at least. So Travis Enders.
Look at that handsome bloke. What a handsome Triton regular he is.
Yeah, with any of these guys ring some bells, Bert and Will? You remember a few of these results and cashes? How much you saw them at the payout desk?
Yeah, I mean, I see Travis at a lot of payout desks. To be fair, actually, I spoke to him in the WPT Prime recently. He said he was having a bad series or something along those lines, and the bigger events had finished, and then he made 2 final tables in a row in 2 of the last events to get out the hole, and I was just like, "There's no stopping this bloke. He's having an unreal 2 years."
Yeah, he got into the fantasy we had at the APL. He was part of the team there, and I reached out to him when I heard we were going to that because I thought he'd be involved. Initially, he said he couldn't make it. He had some family commitments on, so he wasn't coming. But I did hear the news yesterday that whatever family plans, they were cancelled, and he's revved up and ready to go. So it'll be interesting to see how much he goes for now. He got 6 cashes last year. Mark Seymour obviously had a big win and took out another 3 cashes. Hasono, he won the main event, had a solid series as well. Georgina V, she's always up and around the money. Malcolm Trainer, obviously in the super high roller stuff, he had the big win in one of the 10K, it might have been.
I think you won the time. I think you won the 5K. Yeah, the 5K.
The 5K, was it? Yeah. Josh Baraba, Sean Ragazzoni, and Jared Godina. Jared Godina had 2 cashes, 2 wins, and I believe they were both in the mixed games or PLO.
Bit of a mixed game crusher for. We have like 5 or 6 mixed games, so yeah.
So that's something to think about for your fantasy team. Certainly, you might have a guy that the mixed games are generally smaller fields too, so you might get some points. There won't be as much points, but getting into points is obviously huge. So any of the mixed game players will be worth thinking about in your fantasy teams.
I think that list, pretty much all of those players would be reasonable choices this year as well. Like Mark Seymour seems to just have a home ground advantage in Sydney. He's just always in there, hey. And Huss is the same. That's kind of his stomping ground. But yeah, all these names would definitely be reasonable choices. It's good. It's going to be exciting.
Yeah.
But it's not too much.
Yeah, Bert's tight-lipped there. I also got some stats on some of the local legends from the Poker Palace and Marconi, who's got the most cashes all time there. Craig Blight, 38. Daniel Hamilton, equal 38th. This was only updated yesterday, so I'm not sure if anyone's cashed there since, but someone might have taken the lead. And Craig Blight, obviously in amazing form. He took out the player of the festival up at WPT Prime on the Gold Coast recently too. So I think he'll be hot property in the auction. Michael Sleeman, you'd know him pretty well, and all these guys, wouldn't you, Will?
Yeah, I was going to say. So yeah, obviously Craig has had an incredible year. I always laugh at Craig. I'm like, you never know Craig's in the tournament, and they take a final table photo, and Craig's just sat there. You're like, oh, Craig's still like.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, yes, my friend Michael, he's been grinding the satellites, so he's got tickets to pretty much every event. Toby will be here. Toby's had a really good record at the Poker Palace and APO for sort of eternity. Made the final table of the main last year, and then obviously the bottom two are two stalwarts of the Sydney poker scene, Jared and Spano. Jared obviously just picking up 2 trophies at the last ABT, and Spano is now a mixed game specialist. So he has a team entered, and he's going to play all the mixed games. So he's in the draft. He's in the draft.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Actually, I just wanted to mention something else I didn't say with the points. So Noel Jabeur, I believe he's got the chip lead overall so far in the main event. Is that right, Will?
Correct. That is correct. After the first 2 flights.
Yeah. So obviously, he will be available for the auction and can bid on himself. Other people can bid for him. With that, the only thing is you don't get points in any of those events that have had a flight until you make the first pay jump. So just so that players aren't guaranteed points, even though Noel does have a chip lead and I'm sure he'll make the money and he might even win the event or whatever, he's not guaranteed points because you have to make that first pay jump to get points for any events.
Just the main event and the Diamond Cup, that'll be because the main event's had 2 flights and we have another flight Monday, and then the Diamond Cup will have had 2 flights by then as well. So it's just the 350, which the 350 is obviously in terms of numbers way more pure bag each flight. So that's like
I just wanted to make sure there was no guaranteed points that you could just lock up just by bidding for a player. They do have to make that first pay jump, and then it's all the same point system as well. So I thought I'd just mention that because Noel, he's one of your locals as well, and I believe he's in the team with Michael. And
he's also in form. He had a win at the WPT Gold Coast just last month. So
in a freeze out, believe it or not.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I went for dinner with him. We went to play the tournament together. I was thinking, at least I won't have to wait around for him. It's a freeze out. I was there till 1:40 in the morning waiting for him to win.
Well, it is a bit of a preview show, and I just wanted to make sure get the 3 of us to put some top picks out there. I'm going to think who I actually believe will be good picks. So will, and Bert will probably throw some,
curveballs,
random names
some
out
red
there.
herrings,
People not even playing. Bert knows they're not playing.
Ike Haxton and these guys are not going to come. So my top picks, obviously, we just mentioned Craig Blight, Jennifer Castle. She's the number 1 GPI player at the moment, and it was last year. So I think it's great to see some of the ladies getting involved, and Jen I'll definitely be rooting for. Josh Baraba, he was voted the winner in the Australian Poker Schedules Fans' Choice Awards last year. Incredible year. Troy McLean, good mate of mine from the podcast, and I might have a bit of action in him too, so I'm going to hope that he goes well just for both of our sakes. Michelle Basquilia, he's actually 2nd all-time cashes in Australia. He's only 20 behind Mel Judah. He's always thereabouts, And Malcolm Trainer is obviously needs no introduction. He won the 1K mystery last year in Vegas, and he said he won the 5K as well here. So yeah, he's obviously a good pick. I got him in for the high roller stuff.
I'd say Malcolm's got a pretty good record in those big player fields. Just the 20,000 he beat in the mystery bounty in Vegas last year. I would say my picks are more based on the amount of people that play here often, and then also the tickets that they want. So Marcel Diaz is like a regular of ours. He final tabled the 10K last year. He's already bagged the main and the Diamond Cup off one.
That's interesting because like if you've already bagged, you should go at a little bit of a premium, would be my guess in the auction.
Yeah, for sure. Him, Noel. Another pick who won our not the last main but the main before, Henry Tran. He's been grinding the satellites. He's drew a really big series. He won our main a couple of series ago. And yeah, I feel like he's due to win something really big. I'd say Noel Jaber as well. Noel Jaber's still been grinding the satellites, even though he won a main event ticket. He's been racking up the feet. So honestly, don't be surprised if he just fires another main event. I'm just putting it out there just to try and bag a million or something. I've seen there's Noel is the one person who might. I was actually going to say Jen myself. Obviously, Jen had a really good score recently, second in the APT Goliath. Just sort of going from strength to strength, like solidifying her sort of name as the top female in Australia. So yeah, and then I think another one that's kind of gone under the radar for the last few years and is back is Michael Kanan. He's been back in a big way. Had a couple of big results at the start of this year. He's been picking up a couple of results here and there in the Star Series. So I think he's definitely one to watch as well. I don't know how many. I think that's 4 or 5, but yeah, I think they're definitely.
I mean, it's so tough. There's so many names, and that I was just thinking of 5, and I could name another 20.
Yeah.
And Bert's no doubt been doing all the study and talking to his teammate about it, and he's got a list there that Didier's given him, as allowed to say, I guess. Who are your picks, Bert?
I probably should, to be fair, add Didier to the list. Didier almost won 3 high rollers in a row in the market.
Nah, that guy's terrible. I don't even think he can play.
He's a great bloke, though. Terrible player, but great bloke.
Heard he's got some bug he mightn't be coming. Is that right, Bert? Yeah.
Yeah, he's really sick. So I formulated this list because I wanted players who I know are grinders, who show up and play a lot. And they're not people that are deterred if they've bricked a few events in a row. It's a long series, so I was looking for perseverance. So Gary Lynn is my number 1 pick. I watched him bust a 20K, and then he'll immediately go and play like a $350 pillow. So he's an absolute. He just loves it. Robert Spano similarly is similar to Gary. He actually just plays all day, every day. He's a complete grinder, loves the game, and he has a lot of deep runs. So I think you mentioned him on all-time cashes for the venue. So yeah, he's up there. Yeater, I didn't realize he wasn't coming, so he's on the list, but I might have to boot him off.
Yeah, pick him, guys. Pick him.
So moving down, Daniel Nielsen. I got to know Daniel a little bit battling overseas. Hearing that he was coming, I had to put him on this list. I mean, the man's an absolute machine. He has this uncanny way of announcing to the table how good he is while he's going crazy, like 3-betting, 4-betting, putting you in spots and winning all the hands, just non-stop. So he's very tough to play against, and I expect him to have a big series. And I got Raggers. Don't really need to say too much more about him. He's just Mr. Consistent, also big-time grinder. He's in bed early at the end of the night. He doesn't stay up, doesn't drink. And my last pick, this is actually a little unfair because last time I tipped Crilly to be number 1, go for the most money, and he did, and then he had the worst series of his career, the APL Million, and he bricked everything. So I'm sorry, bro. But I put him back on the list. He's also, just one of those guys that plays a lot.
He's also bagged the main as well, which is a big.
I didn't know that. That's
he snuck through. He snuck through Crilly style as always, but he has bagged the main in a play and safe promotion he played a couple of series ago. So
that would actually be interesting.
Go on.
I was going to say it'd be interesting with Lachlan Crilly. When did he bag that flight?
It was in the Winter Champ, so at the end of last year.
So I'm not sure if there's ever a player that's won a main event, bagged with his hair down around his waist, and then won it with a completely bald shaved head. Obviously, he shaved his head recently for charity, so it could be a world record there.
It's a long series; it might have grown back.
True.
I'm interested to see if he ends up playing some of the higher stake stuff. I think he's probably ready. I know he's very good at game selection. He chooses, his bankroll management is very important and everything. But I'd like to see him maybe take some shots at the 5 and the 10. We'll see.
Hint, hint. This means Didier and Bert have saved up some money for Crilly. Come on, son, you go.
Yeah, well, he hasn't sort of shot taken much, but APO could be the series that is your breakout for many players. You could just go on absolute tears. You saw Travis got 6 cashes last year in a win. That was the sort of start to his sun run, I guess, and he just been winning everything. Gives you some confidence, and yeah, hopefully Lachlan's the same. Hopefully a lot of players.
Yeah, I do. I think Lachlan's a really good pick. I played them in the WPT Prime recently. He's kind of had a lot of runs, a lot of. I mean, they all take the Mickey that he's always short stacked, but he has a lot of deep runs and then doesn't quite, get over the line. But as Bert said, I don't think he's that far away from a big score.
And there could have been plenty of other people we haven't spoken about. Amin Riazati, Cooper Feldman.
We don't even need to mention any of them. Let's just leave it at that, don't we? Amin would be a good pick, actually. I probably should have.
There's probably 2 wild cards as well. I mean, Asan and Fabian Gums are probably a good picks as well because they'll play literally the 350 up to the 20k. So,
guys like Martin Finger. Yeah. I'm sure he'll be here as well. Some of the international guys, Angel. Obviously, Raymond, you're one of your ambassadors. We haven't spoken about him. Yeah, so.
Yeah, I probably should have mentioned him.
That guy.
He's a great player, and he also plays pretty hard. When he's committed to a series, he shows up and plays. He's not.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
And he's a funny guy too. So we do have 10 teams locked in. I'll just quickly put them up there now. You can still put teams in right up until the day. These are the ones that got in on time and have got their custom logos done, and we've got these little bidding panels here, like this team here, the Ambassador Brothers.
It's
bidding.
The artwork.
Bert Perry, $50. So looking forward to that, and obviously the patches as well. We're patching up.
That was cool, actually. Being patched up with my team was a lot of fun. Like that sense of team unity across events. It's kind of unique because poker is a very individual sort of pursuit in general. So
and if you pick someone like Lachlan Crilly or whatever, just giving him a badge to wear for you, like represent us, I think that's just a cool concept about it, even if you're not winning for yourself, you've got that interest to rail for others and that. So
you beg him for a swap. Hey, bro, we're on the same team.
Oh, that's why you paired with Didier.
Yeah. Look, no, I sort of don't want to keep everyone here all night, but I just thought I'd get you guys together, hype it up. We've got the fantasy coming up next week, and a lot of people are really excited about it. So it'll be a lot of fun. So the auction's on Wednesday, 1:00. That's going to be a lot of fun as well. Do your research, work out who's coming, who's not, how much you want to pay for everyone. Who do you think is going to be the number 1 draft pick on the night, Will? Who's going to go for the absolute most money out of every player?
I have 2 answers. If someone buys themselves, then Noel Jaber. If it's otherwise, I'd imagine. Actually, I nearly forgot something. Actually, I imagine it'd be Marcel or I imagine someone who's bagged a lot of chips. So like Noel, Marcel, or as Bert said, maybe Critty's a wild card for the biggest one, just because of his recent record and him bagging the main. So. I'd probably say I'm going to say Marcel.
I'm going to go with Jared Thatcher. I'm sick of seeing his bloody smirking face all over Facebook. I know he's won a couple of trophies at the APT recently, but he's also one of those guys that just shows up, grinds really hard. He was also our star pick in our last team, and he did absolutely nothing. I think he'll still go for the most.
I also actually not just saying this. I think Jen will go for a lot as well. I think. Jen's one of the best grinders in the country, so I think Jen will go for a lot as well. Maybe you and Didier have something up your sleeve to try, everyone. Jen, tell everyone you're not playing and all this, and then you just sneak her for like 20 or 30.
There's a lot of gamesmanship. It's really fun. The auction itself is a lot of trash talk. It's really just such a good time. I had never been a part of anything like it before, and having Dylan in one ear and Didier in the other with my headphones in while I was bidding. It was chaotic and it was so much fun. It was just an absolute pleasure.
I'm really looking forward to
the side betting is fun too.
I've got some good jokes lined up on the mic, so I'm really looking forward to hosting the draft. So
Yeah,
can't wait.
that's going to be a lot of fun. You really do a great job. I'm looking forward to it. All the teams sitting around the table having a few drinks and just picking their best team. And I guarantee you, at the end of the night, everyone that's picked their team will think they have the winning team. That's what happens. Everyone thinks they've got the winning team, and there'll be some side bets and a lot of fun with that as well. Bert, you were part of a big side bet last time, and
well, my team was. I didn't have any action on it. I had a few small ones. I got Mike Maddox in a nice one.
Right.
There was some big money side bets going on. I think that's the cool part about it is if you want a bit of extra action, you can. But just the feeling of having a team, doing a little bit of research, having some ideal picks, maybe having a sleeper pick. I had a couple of those last year that I got through where I got them for a lot cheaper than I'd expect they'd go for. So if you have someone you know's like maybe an international or someone from your state or city that other people aren't aware of, and you know they're really good and they kind of play, then that's a big advantage as well. So that's a tip from me to you if it's your first time.
That looks like you already know a couple, but that looks
Well,
wheels are in motion for sure.
Yeah.
I'm going to predict Amin Riazadi goes for the most at the auction. That'll be my pick. And
Yeah.
with that, thanks for joining us, everyone. Hope you have a great time, and we'll see you next week at the APO. It's going to be huge. See you guys.
See you next week.
Thanks, maybe. Thank you.
Poker is about skill, strategy, and sometimes just pure heart. But what if you could assemble the ultimate poker dream team? The 2K Fantasy at this year's Australian Poker Open, in collaboration with the Australian Poker Schedule, is the ultimate poker draft. Create your team franchise, give it a name, draft your dream team at a live auction. Feel the rush whether you're on the felt or sweating it from the sidelines. Build your squad, outscore the competition, and stake your claim on Australia's ultimate fantasy prize. 2K Fantasy Australian Poker Open, April 16, Western Sydney.